Listen to this. Yesterday, I go to the pizza place down the block and I find out they have new owners. And I look behind the counter and they have all these weird kinds of pizza. They even have one with pineapple and tuna. I don't really think that's pizza. Hey, are you wondering why my story about yesterday uses all present verbs? Let's check it out.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 796. 7 ways to use the simple present tense. According to a lot of grammar books, the simple present tense is used to describe actions, facts, and situations that are true or regular. But what does that really mean? You may be surprised to know that the simple present tense has 7 different uses in everyday English conversation. And that's what we're going to do a deep dive into today. So, let's get the ball rolling. First of all, we use the simple present tense to state facts that are always true, like scientific facts or other things that don't change, like the sun rises in the east. The sun rises. That's something that doesn't change. Or water boils at 100 degrees and water freezes at 0 degrees. Those are 2 scientific facts. But there are other kinds of facts too, like cats have sharp claws and fire is hot. We also use the simple present tense to talk about things we do regularly. You know, like your daily activities and other habits. I drink a cup of matcha every morning. My sister drinks coffee and she goes to the gym twice a week. A lot of people like to watch the evening news. Teenagers spend a lot of time with their phones. And keep in mind, we tend to use time expressions like always, usually, often, sometimes, never with the present tense. Like, I always drink green tea, or Kim usually finishes work at 6 o'clock. We also use the simple present tense when we talk about scheduled events in the future. This includes things like transportation schedules, business meetings, and TV programs, like the train to Boston departs at 10 a.m. When I fly to Tokyo, the travel agent said my flight arrives at noon. The evening news starts at 6. So, basically, when something is planned and follows a fixed schedule, the simple present tense can be used instead of the future tense. Those are all examples of events that are regularly scheduled in a timetable. But in formal situations, you can also use the simple present tense to talk about future arrangements that are already decided, often with specific times. Like, the new boss flies to New York next Monday. I think we meet her on Tuesday morning. Again, this usage of the simple present does have a formal sound to it. Another way we use the simple present tense is when we give instructions, commands, or directions. Like, you just press this button to start the coffee maker. When you make bread, first mix all the dry ingredients, then add them to the water. Oh yeah, when I got to the motor vehicle office, the woman behind the desk said, "Please take a seat and fill out this form." Next up, We usually use the simple present when we give our opinions and talk about preferences. For example, I like dogs, but my friend Nobi likes cats. And, unlike a lot of Americans, I think football is boring. Don't you think coffee tastes better with a little milk? Of course, verbs that express thoughts, emotions, or senses are often used with the present tense because they can't be used in a progressive tense. Like, the boss believes in working hard, even on the weekend. We can't say the boss is believing in working hard. The boss believes in working hard. Lastly, we use the simple present tense in storytelling, sports commentaries, and jokes to make the action feel more immediate and exciting. Using the simple present tense to tell a story, even if it's a story based in the past, makes the story feel more real. Like yesterday, I walk into the coffee shop near my office and I see my ex-girlfriend. She's there with some guy who's like 25 years older than her, and she sees me, and then blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. Using the present tense in this story makes the action seem real. And speaking of action, when you watch sports on TV, the announcer uses the simple present tense, like, here comes Shohei Ohtani. He stands in the batter's box. Here comes the pitch. He swings. Home run! Keep in mind, the best way to remember English like this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. You know what? You can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends. Join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 796. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible. And I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.